Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Grace on Tour and I love to showcase the beautiful world that we live in. In this video I will go through my favorite travel apps that I use either when I prepare for a trip or on my trips. But before we head out there, remember to like this video and subscribe. There are new travel videos every week and I really appreciate your support. But for now, let's head out there. The first one that we can see here is Bean. If you're a travel junkie or a travel nerd and like to count countries and see where you've been and how much of the world that you've visited, this is the perfect app for you. You can then click on the side to see the percentage of the world that you've been in and the number of countries as well. Just note that this is not the official UN list, so some countries are actually not independent countries that are on this list. So I don't use this as my official country counting, but it's nice to get an overview of where you've been. Note that you can also tick off number of states that you visited in the US if you find that of interest as well. And we have Google Maps. I really like Google Maps because of the function that you can actually download maps offline. So if you know that you're, for example, traveling to Paris, you can download the entire city map of Paris. So if you don't have any internet connection, you can still navigate the city. You can also create your own lists of favoritized places that you either have loved visiting or that you want to visit during your trips. Also, you can put in your own places in Google Maps and be a contributor. If you didn't know, if it's a unknown place that nobody's been to before, you can put it in and be a local guide, take a picture, so that other people will know that this place exists. So when I create my top travel itineraries, especially for a city, I will put in all the places that I want to visit in the city as favorites in a list, and then I can get an overview of where all of these places are located so I can plan my day accordingly. We move over to Google Translate. Just like Google Maps, you have an offline function, which is great when you're traveling. You can choose which languages you want to have available offline, and you can use the camera function. If you have a text that you just put the text in front of you and you can just hold the camera up, it will translate directly. Or you can just take a picture and highlight the sentences that you want to have translated. You're also able to speak into the translation. So for example, I'll translate. I have here English to Greek. I'll record my voice. Hello. And then it has translated my hello into Greek, and we can see if it's accurate here. If we have any Greek-speaking people out there, let me know if this is correct.
Yeah.
You also have a conversation function. Hello, how are you?
Πώς είσαι?
So we'll speak then, and you can then choose which one that you want to be translating. So here we have the Greek person that can just speak in and it will translate to English, and then we have that I can speak English and it will translate into Greek. So you can have a conversation with someone even if you don't speak the same language. Then we go over to currency conversion. So I use the application called Currency. This is also available offline, so I can use it offline and it will just use the latest updated currency conversion rate, and which is always updated when you have internet. And we can see here we go from Albanian to Swedish crowns, 150 Albanian lek. I can see exactly how much is in Swedish. I can convert it then back to each other. And then we have a navigation app called Waze. This one is my favorite when it comes to driving. So if you're renting a car in a country and you're driving, this one is my favorite. However, the offline function is not really very good. It will give you alternatives for which roads are possible to take to your final destination. it has more places than Google Maps often. It regularly updates the traffic status. So if, for example, there's been an accident on a road that you are going on, it will alert you. And if there are any like big jams, it will try to find an alternative route so you won't be in a traffic jam, for example. I use Rome to Rio to be able to see what my alternatives are and the best ways of getting myself from A to B. This can be, within cities, between countries. So it will list all of the different modes of transportation I can take, how long it will take for each, and approximately how much it will cost. You will also be able to get to the websites to book, for example, the bus tickets or train tickets or boat tickets, anything like that. And this is a global service. I like to have an app on my phone which also looks up flights. This can be anything from Skyscanner to Momondo to Google Flights, but just something that I easily can get to look up flights. And then, of course, some application for accommodation. This can be Airbnb, Booking.com, Hotels.com, anything that's your favorite. It's always good to have the application form, because I know, for example, for Bookings.com, sometimes you can get a mobile discount if you do your booking through your phone. That can be something to look into to get some more discount. Then it's also very good to have a taxi app. I personally use Uber, but if you're, for example, in other parts of the world where Uber doesn't exist, there are like Grab, Gojek. It really depends on where in the world you are and what alternatives you have. And when you're not really up for going out to eat, a food delivery app is also quite nice to have if you've had a long day and just want to have some food delivered to your hotel. And of course, this depends on where in the world you are. If you're in the middle of the jungle, this is of course not an alternative, but if you're in a city, there usually is some form of application for food delivery services. It can be everything from Uber Eats to Food Panda, Wolt. There are so many around the world. Sometimes you're not able to join a walking tour or have a guide show you around a city or get information when you're walking around a city. And then I use the application called GPSmyCity. You can choose to actually download the walking tours. So for each city, you will have different walking tours that you can do, and all of them have different sites, and it will list approximately how long time it will take to do the walk. And for each site, you can click on the site and then you can get information about each place. It can be hard to understand sometimes what you're actually looking at and what you're passing while you're walking around a city. So I find this really, really great to just get some deeper knowledge when doing it, when walking around a city. Another general application that I'll have on my phone is for tours. And in this case, I have GetYourGuide. You can just search for any city or place in the world and it will come up with the tours available. It can also be very good to use this with when you're travel planning to see what you actually can do at the destination and so forth. And in the GetYourGuide application, you can save your tickets as well. Another general travel application that I advise you to have is your home country's government travel app, if you have one. I personally am from Sweden, so I have the government travel app. It will give me any information of if there's happened anything in another country. I can also register myself that I am, for example, in Zimbabwe. Then the government will know. So if anything happens in Zimbabwe, I will get a travel alert directly to me and they can contact me directly. So I find that's really, really good. Just to feel extra safe and know what's happening in the world, and especially where in the world that you are. I advise you as well to use the wallet function, where you can save all of your bookings and tickets offline. It's good for environment that you don't have to be printing lots of paper, and it's just easy to have everything in your phone. Then we have the weather application. I use iPhone's own weather application. I find it very, very good actually, because you can see what the weather will be for each hour of the day, the temperature, humidity, like air pressure, if there will be any downpour, like rain or snow, when the sun goes up and when the sun goes down. And that one is a really, really good function, because like if you're heading out in the city and want to see the sunrise or sunset, you'll know exactly when that will happen. If you don't want to be out when it's dark, you'll know, okay, I need to be back at a certain time because then it will be dark. We now go into the final applications, and this is for entertainment. And I've chosen these applications because they all have offline functions, so you can download everything to be available offline, so you won't have any need for internet connection. Application I use for entertainment while traveling is Netflix. I use the podcast application for iPhone to download my favorite podcasts. Readly, I don't know if this is available everywhere, but this is a subscription service that I pay for to be able to access hundreds of magazines. And then Spotify to listen to music. And that was all of my travel apps. I hope that you found it really, really interesting and got some few new recommendations of applications that you could be using when you're preparing for travel, when you're traveling, or if you're just, some of these applications I use in everyday life as well. So yes, let me know your best travel app recommendations down in the comments below. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and remember to subscribe. It really, really helps out with my channel. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!